Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about 11 things that will irritate a narcissist, 11 things that will trigger a narcissist, 11 things that hurt a narcissistic person. Now these aren't things that you should ideally do on purpose to a narcissist. As a narcissistic person, when they receive a narcissistic injury, this can trigger narcissistic rage and there will be all hell to pay. These are things to recognize why they react, why they respond in the ways and the manners that they do, to understand more of the person you are dealing with so that you don't take their behavior personally. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around anyone. You should still be able to be yourself around others. However, there are certain things when you can't go no contact with a narcissist, you can avoid doing, which will trigger that narcissistic injury. Again, you shouldn't have to walk on eggshells around anyone. So if it's all possible, no contact and grey rock is always the best approach when dealing with a narcissist. It's near impossible to go around life without upsetting anyone, without upsetting a genuine person. We can have all lived different experiences, we can all have different opinions, and even trying to be nice towards others, you can still upset another person. When it comes to dealing with a narcissist, it's impossible not to upset a narcissist due to their grandiosity, due to their sense of entitlement. They get triggered very easily, so it's impossible not to upset one, which is why limited contact or no contact is always the best approach when dealing with a narcissist. One of the first things that is going to irritate a narcissist, that's going to cause a narcissistic injury, is the truth. Narcissistic people go all out to create a narrative that serves them, create a reality that serves them, that works in their favour. So they might have got some information about something, they might have made a cake, they've got that information from somebody, yet everybody loves the cake that they've made and they want everyone to believe that they're the ones that created the cake. So as soon as you accidentally say, oh, didn't you get the recipe out of this book? They're going to get offended. They don't want other people knowing the truth. Now with narcissistic people, you'll often notice it's not just major things that set them off, it's the minor things in life as well. Narcissistic people lie to cover up their lives. They want people to think that they are the biggest and the best, and they came up with everything themselves first. So if the truth comes out that they didn't, they get offended by this. When it comes to a narcissistic person, not getting the validation that they believe they're entitled to also can trigger a narcissistic injury. Again, due to their grandiosity, they want to be known as the best. And if they're not known as the best, then they are going to take their worst out on you to punish you. So if they share something with you, and they can share something that they've done which is horrific towards another person, and you might just turn around and say, well, what on earth have you done that for? Because you've not taken their side, because you've not praised their initiative, they're going to become offended with you. If you don't sing from the rooftops over any of their achievements, they're going to be offended with you. And you might not want to praise their achievements because you know the underhand ways they went about to get their needs met. So you might not want to praise them, yet they're going to be offended that you're not giving them the validation that they believe they are entitled to. Exposure is another one. Narcissistic people do not like being exposed for the things that they have done to people, the lies that they have told to people. Now, we can have all done something silly in our past. We can all be naive. We learn with age. Wisdom comes with age, and someone might tell somebody that you perhaps didn't want to share that information with. And we can take some getting used to other people knowing things that we'd prefer people not to know. With a narcissistic person, they can just not want people to know things such as they might make out that they are the greatest grandparent in the world, that they are always running around after their grandchildren, they're always doing for their grandchildren. What they don't inform people is that their children have to pay them, even though the narcissist has a lot more money in the bank than their own children, to do anything for their grandchildren. The narcissist moans about doing stuff for their grandchildren. Their children find it very difficult to ask the narcissist, and ask the narcissist as a last resort. And the narcissist gets offended if you don't ask them, but then gets offended when you do ask them. Wonders why you've asked somebody else to do it because they do a far better job, yet when you ask them to do it, they've got something else to do. However, they will be telling everybody else how they spend all their time running around after their children, even though they don't. And when they get exposed for actually not doing this, they get offended. It's their grandiosity. They're selling people that illusion of who they'd like people to believe themselves to be and who they'd like to believe themselves to be. That illusion of who they'd like others to think they are. So when they are exposed for not being that person, this gets under a narcissistic person's skin. This irritates them. This causes a narcissistic injury. This breaks into their illusion and can cause them to react negatively to the person who has exposed them. Not being put first in anything and everything. Narcissistic people are very competitive, and they also feel entitled to be first. So you can put your own minor children who need help and support because they're young and dependent on you in front of the narcissist, and the narcissist is going to be offended by this. This is why they can go around and ruin their own children's birthdays, turn up to their children's events late so that they can bring the attention back onto themselves. Narcissistic people do not like other people being put before them, even if they are old enough and mature enough to be able to do things for themselves. They don't want to do things for themselves. They want other people to run around after them. They will actually turn around and say, well, if they're more important to you than I am, well, if you care about them more than you do me, as they play the victim to get you to feel guilty for looking after minors before you serve the narcissist. People saying no to them, this questions their sense of entitlement. So this really gets under their skin. This really irritates them, and this can really trigger a narcissistic injury when people say no to them. They have no respect for other people's values, for other people's beliefs, for other people's boundaries. They go all around the houses. They might play nice, they might play the victim, they might start intimidating, they might fall silent. They're going to play so many mind games in order to get the person who dared to say no to them to say yes to them. When people disagree with them, narcissistic people think they're the bee's knees and they're right and everybody else is wrong, and everyone should just go along with them. Everyone should just agree with them. And when people don't agree with them, it irritates them and it can trigger that narcissistic injury. And they will go all out to humiliate and criticise and judge and mark and pull down anyone who's disagreed with them. Rather than having a healthy debate or a healthy disagreement, rather than trying to see all the sides to one argument, especially if you can't come to a conclusion because you haven't got the facts and evidence either way. They're not interested in listening to other possibilities. They're right, everyone else is wrong. Therefore, due to their arrogance, they will humiliate those who dare to stand against them in order to mock those people, in order to pull those people down, so that people side with the narcissist out of fear of being humiliated and mocked and judged and criticised themselves. And then those people can also find it difficult when they work out the truth due to their own ego. We're all human. Losing. Narcissistic people are very competitive people. We can all have a competitive side to us. We have games in life. We have sports such as football and cricket, and we have those events in order to create teams to win. You are in that competition to win it. However, everybody who enters that competition knows where they stand, knows what they're in it for. Narcissistic people create competitions that you know absolutely nothing about, and they set the games so that they can win at all costs to you. When a narcissistic person loses control over someone else's mind is when their tantrums begin, because they are all about creating those games, creating that competition so that they can win. They're going to divide and conquer and triangulate people so that people can't expose who the narcissist is to others. People can't tell the truth to other people because the narcissist has already spread that many lies about the other person that when the other person goes to a different party to explain something, that person is disbelieved. The narcissist has already smeared their name. Other people's success. Narcissistic people have that grandiosity. They want to be known as the best at everything. So also due to their envy, other people's success irritates them. It hurts them. Why again they seek to pull other people down. Why if you go and tell them that somebody's just purchased a new car, this is going to annoy a narcissistic person. This is going to get under their skin. They're going to be envious of that person, so they're going to seek to pull that car down any way they can. Who'd want one of those? Discredit the make and model, claim that the other person cheated someone out of something to get it due to their envy. They don't like hearing about other people's success, often why they will ruin other people's celebrations. If something isn't about the narcissist is going to go all out to tear it down, not getting the attention they believe they're entitled to. They like the validation, so when they don't get the validation, this offends them. Also the attention. So when the attention is on somebody else, often why you will find if you or somebody the narcissist knows is sick, they will walk away from that person, because the attention is no longer on the narcissist. And this offends them because they believe they're entitled to all the attention. This is why they go all out to ruin special occasions, because they're not getting the attention they believe they're entitled to. People not being ready to serve them. This also ties into a narcissist double standards, because when somebody is celebrating something, a narcissist can rock up late to the event and expect everyone to be eternally grateful that they showed up at all, and give them the praise and the gratitude for turning up and making the effort. They'll also happily leave early or make a scene at somebody else's events, get people to worry about them. However, you are not allowed to be late for a narcissist. You'll find with genuine people that just run late in life, have poor timekeeping skills, just because it's who they are as a person. When other people run late for them, they're not offended by this. They can relate because they work from the same sort of ways. With a narcissistic person, they have that double standards, so they can be late for you. However, you should never be late for them. It's going to irritate them, it's going to get under their skin, and they're going to seek to attack you, not getting the sympathetic attention that they believe they're entitled to. Narcissistic people believe that they're entitled to all the attention being on them, everything being about them. Same with their double standards. If somebody else has received some bad news, the narcissist isn't interested. However, if the narcissist has received some form of bad news, then all the attention should go to the narcissist. Now, when a narcissist receives a narcissistic injury, this can lead to narcissistic rage. You can have those passive-aggressive sulks and silent treatments, procrastination, or they can lash out at you, they can rage out at you, they can shout at you, they can threaten you, they can project onto you, they can gaslight you. When it comes to a narcissistic person receiving a narcissistic injury, this is when their games set in order to regain control of the situation. This is also when they might seek to punish you so that they can feel better about the injury that they've received due to who they are as a person, due to their grandiosity, their sense of entitlement, their envious nature, their arrogance and their lack of empathy. It all stems from who they are as a person, not what you did to them. It's their issues that they're unwilling to take responsibility for, that they're unwilling to deal with. Instead, they're just going to blame and shame everybody around them rather than work on themselves. Some narcissistic people might just simply move on to a new supply when things are no longer going their way, in order to get the attention, the validation that they believe they're entitled to, while punishing you. Anything that you notice that triggered a narcissistic injury, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.